just seems the game devs over at Bandai could not nail down what they wanted this franchise to be. The first game was a simulator, the second was a dungeon crawler, and now the third is pretty much a straight up RPG. But unlike the other two where you can tell in the first 5 minutes, yeah, this is ass. This game starts off like it's gonna be a good time. The graphics are very pleasant, going for a sprite-based game that adds much needed style to the world, and even adorableness in the human designs and of course the Digimon. It has an actual story with characters. Battles, while not looking the best, swapping to 3D, at least attempt to bring the Digimon to life as accurately as they can. The battle system is much better, it's pretty much just Pokemon now with one at the lead. You can swap them, do attacks, special moves, items, fighting wild Digimon and random encounters. But that's fine, it's good. You don't gotta reinvent the wheel every time. Best of all, the battles are fast. You don't spend an eternity watching 6 animations or just sitting there while your Digimon fights and you occasionally get to hit a button like it should be. There's even side content like a card game you can play when you don't want to just battle. And did I mention the awesome music? Like, this is it. A good Digimon game. We finally found one. So I kept playing it. And I kept playing it. And kept playing it. I did the same thing. Over and over. Jeez, I mean, it's gotta change it up at some point, right? Man, I've passed by this one area a lot, and there it is again. Wait, was there a story? Why am I doing this again? Oh no. It's still bad. Well, not as bad as the second one. That one's still probably the worst. But yeah, when I first started World 3, I was into it. I had to do some early grinding, but again, I'm emulating this, and I've played RPGs like that before. It still was no big deal. Couldn't figure out how to name my Digimon though, so they're all honorary waffles. Until I got further into the game and realized how they wanted the player to feel like they got the bang for their buck. Backtracking. So much backtracking. I got on with the story and made it to new places, and then as I got further into the story, I kept coming back to those places again and again and again. Oh, and one more time for the good measure, you know? The moment I realized how bad this was when I needed to get a key card from a Guilmon to operate this lift. But he was in the starting town, so I had to walk all the way back. Okay, annoying, but no big deal. So I get there, you have to find him too. They don't really tell you where he is. And he says to go find another one, he doesn't have it. Okay, this one's back the way I came at an inn. I get to him and he says, no, you need another one. So okay, I go back to this other city nearby, and finally, this one gives me the key card I need. Well, I guess I'm closer to the lift I was going to use anyway, so I can continue on now. It's a fake. It tricked me. So I go back, but he's gone. So another Guilmon tells me, not where he is exactly, he's very vague about it, but he's back where that second one was, in the basement of the inn you wouldn't think to go to, because if you explored there before, there was nothing there. And finally, fucking finally, I could progress. I'm laughing just recounting this. I completely forgot about this. And I shit you not, after one boss fight, I make it to a new location for 5 minutes because this one Digimon won't let me through, so to find out how to beat him, I have to help possibly racist Mon here find his missing mask, which has me go all the way back to the starting area in a dungeon to find someone who tells me it's not there, and then I have to go back to the starting town again. This is real. You have to do all of this in this video game. And you're still dealing with random encounters, by the way. You can't avoid them in this game. There's no way to get rid of them as far as I know. And I was speeding it up with emulation, and it still felt like an eternity. Walking back and forth between locations, I can't imagine how long it would take doing this at normal speed. And before you ask, no, there is no fast travel. This is way before that became commonplace. The best you have is a sub you get later on that lets you travel between locations, but you need to know which dock connects to which, and still play the part you travel in a badly controlled submarine section, and you still have to deal with random encounters during it, so it's not fast travel at all. Despite the gameplay changing so drastically between games, for some reason, they kept the theme of wasting your time. So I wanted to see, I needed to know, it's gotta get better, right? If I keep going back to the starting town, maybe something will be different. And I'm happy to report that as I kept playing, as I made it further into the game, it just all fell apart. First was, I was gaming so much that I forgot that there was a story in this game. In a JRPG. That's not good. So the general plot is your character called Junior, but I renamed him to Nugget, has joined Digimon Online, the hot new MMO. You, I guess, put your own body in with this tube technology, it's unclear. And his goal is he's trying to be the very best like no one ever was. And how do you do this? Well, you fight leaders in different towns that you go to. Look, I know Digimon fans don't like being compared to Pokemon, but they really tried to emulate it here. And that's kind of it. That's the story. Well, as far as I got anyway, there was this hint at some hacker trapping everyone in the game. You know, you die in the game, you whatever. But these cutscenes were so far and in between the walking that I got so worn out from random encounters and traveling. By the time a cutscene happened, I was like, who gives a shit? I forgot the reason I was even doing all that stuff anyway, so by the time they tried to tell me, I didn't care. And what little I did see was not interesting. I'm not even gonna bother describing the characters and stuff because you'll forget about them. Another thing is, this game does not tell you how to progress, you have to figure it out. Characters will tell you more of a general idea of what to do, like a direction, go south, or head to this area, but not really tell you where that area is. But what you need to do, or who you need to talk to next to hit the next story trigger, good luck figuring that out. The worst is during that probably racist Mon's Mask thing, where you have to walk all around the town, going through tons of loading screens, trying to find what's different, so you know who to talk to. Now, I'm fine with games not holding my hand, it's one of my gripes with a lot of modern games, but you should give me a less general location than that area over there, or sometimes none at all. And that reminded me of another thing, every screen transition has a loading screen. You might be thinking, yeah, Brian, it's a PS1 game, of course there's a ton of loading screens. But no, I mean every single possible screen transition. Like, you go to a shop and talk to the shopkeeper, and when you're done, it has to load in with a screen telling you where you are already. Even going into the menu, you have to sit through a loading screen, load into a cutscene, get kicked out, into another loading screen. Yeah, they're not that long, but because there's so many of them, it adds up quick. Okay, well at least you can take a break from all of that with some side content, like side quests. What side quests? There's like 2 or 3 total in the whole game. There's one where you make a fishing rod and it just fishes up some random encounters. Okay, what's the point? One of the other ones I didn't do, but it's how you recruit other Digimon. I'm not going to explain it in full. You basically fight optional bosses to get new Digimon. I didn't see a point in that because in this game, the Digimon have alternate forms you can use at any time. Yeah, you can freely change Digivolution routes in the start menu. A cool thing I wish later Digimon games did, honestly. Hey, there's one good thing about this game. But yeah, you can get other Digivolutions that are associated with other Digimon, like my honorary Waffle 1 Digimon into Cubimon, so why do I need a Renamon? I guess it's easier to get those forms if you get their base forms, but seemed unnecessary to me. Now, if you're wondering how I know that despite not doing it, it's because I followed a walkthrough for this game once I realized how cryptic it was, which thankfully I did. I would not have made it as far as I did otherwise. And it even told me things I don't think I would have known because the game doesn't really tell you. Like, you can fight other tamers by talking to them twice? Yeah, the first time you talk to them, they just say stuff, so it's like, what makes you think you talk to them again? And even if you do, again, there's no point. Because unlike Pokemon where they are forced and it's also one of your main ways to get money, these are completely optional. You get money from random encounters just the same. Sometimes you get a special item, but otherwise, there's really no reason. The last side content is the card game, and this was actually fun. I love optional card games and RPGs. Gwent, that's my shit. 1v1 me in Triple Triad, nigga. Stop, don't even try. You can't, you'll get smacked. I'll save you the time. And I like this one. It's pretty basic, I'm not gonna explain the rules. But I was stomping kids early on. But then I ran into this businessman who beat me, the king of card games, with his ass water deck. Clearly it needs to be banned. But until then, I went and got more packs. You can get them in 2 ways, beating other people at the card game or by kicking trees. Yes, because after one of the other side quests, you get kicking shoes. You kick a tree, you can find Cardmon. Can you tell this is an original Digimon made for this game and hasn't appeared anywhere else? You beat that and you get slightly better packs. So I busted him open, had a sick tier 0 red-blue deck. I was ready to beat this guy, but weirdly he wouldn't card battle me. Instead, it was just a regular tamer battle. I guess some people could be both. I don't know what triggers which. And the weird thing is, despite progressing into the next area, there was no one to card battle at all there. I made it to a new town and everything, and no one wanted to throw down. That's weird, right? Why make a minigame you can barely play? Every NPC should have the option to duel. But I couldn't. I wanted to keep playing it. It was fun, but the one actual fun thing in the game that I wanted to do stopped being relevant in the middle of the game. I've never seen that. I mean, what happened? Did they just get lazy and didn't want to program all those decks? Actually, yeah, that's probably what happened. And according to the walkthrough anyway, I was maybe 1/4 and some change done in the game. I was in this desert area and I was playing it and the difficulty spiked up, so I needed to do another grinding session, and that's when I gave up. Because I was not going to spend another hour or 2 grinding just to keep walking back and forth all day. I'm good. I don't care if it gets better later, I played this game for 12 hours. If I'm not enjoying it after that long, then that's enough. So that's Digimon World 3, you might as well call this the Time Waster series. A lesser-known spin-off of Time Splitters. This one was more disappointing because it seemed so good at first. I was willing to give this one a chance. I thought this was going to be the first positive Digimon game video, but no, it just shit on me like all the others. Well, I'm going to look at one more before taking a break from these Digimons, so the last numbered game, Digimon World 4, will be next. I bet this one's going to be a first-person shooter.